Have you ever imagined what it would be like to experience one of the most decisive moments in history, but with a creative twist that turns facts into an exciting narrative? The Siege of 1686, a landmark in the struggle between the Ottoman Empire and the Holy League, left lessons that still resonate today. Yet, many view it as just another static page in history books. What if I told you it's possible to bring this event to life by combining historical fidelity with imagination? This video will show you exactly how to do that. Here, we'll dive into the concept of reinventing history through fiction, exploring how real events can serve as the foundation for captivating stories. This creative reinterpretation promises not only to spark your curiosity, but also to inspire you to see the past in a completely new way. We're not just talking about studying what happened. We're talking about feeling what it was like to be there, hearing the sounds of battle, grappling with leaders' dilemmas, and even imagining the dreams and fears of ordinary people who lived through these events. Throughout this video, you'll discover how the Siege of 1686 can be retold with dramatic twists, richly developed characters, and timeless lessons. Whether you're passionate about history or simply searching for new ways to understand the world, this journey will surprise you. Stay with me until the end to learn how to transform historical facts into unforgettable stories, and perhaps even find inspiration for your own narratives. Historical context of the Siege of 1686. The Siege of 1686 was far more than just a military confrontation. It marked a turning point in the long-standing struggle between the Ottoman Empire and Christian Europe. This event, part of the Great Turkish War, culminated in the liberation of Buda, which had been under Ottoman rule for over 140 years. To fully grasp the magnitude of this siege, we must delve into the preceding conflicts and the motivations that drove thousands of soldiers to fight with such fervor. In the latter half of the 17th century, the Ottoman Empire was one of the world's most feared powers. Its military advances seemed unstoppable, and the fall of Buda in 1541 was a significant milestone in its expansion across Central Europe. However, Christian resistance began to organize, leading to the formation of the Holy League, a coalition of the Holy Roman Empire, the Habsburg monarchy, Poland-Lithuania, and Venice. This alliance, despite cultural and political differences, shared a common goal: to reclaim occupied territories and halt the Ottoman advance into Europe. The siege itself, which took place between June and September 1686, was led by Commander Charles of Lorraine. Supported by approximately 80,000 soldiers, including elite units such as the Hungarian Kurik and Polish troops, the Holy League's army surrounded the fortified city of Buda. The operation wasn't just military, it was also strategic. Reclaiming Buda would weaken the Ottoman presence in the region and serve as a powerful symbol of unity among the Christian states. The conditions of the siege were brutal. During the summer months, the city endured relentless bombardment, while the Ottoman defenders, led by Abdurrahman Abdi Arnavut, resisted with remarkable determination. The conflict was not only physical, but also psychological. The Holy League faced immense pressure to secure victory, to justify their coalition, while the Ottomans understood that the loss of Buda could signify the beginning of their decline in Europe. The siege was filled with striking details. For instance, records show that soldiers on both sides resorted to extreme measures to survive, such as using corpses to reinforce barricades. There are also accounts of secret messages sent by civilians within the city, pleading for rescue and revealing the dire shortage of supplies. These elements highlight how the siege was more than just a battle of armies. It was a human drama involving courage, despair, and sacrifice. When the city finally fell on September 2nd, 1686, the victory was celebrated as a divine triumph. However, the human cost was staggering. Thousands of lives, both military and civilian, were lost, and the city was left in ruins. Still, the Holy League's success marked the start of a series of victories that would eventually culminate, years later, in the Treaty of Karlowitz, bringing the Great Turkish War to an end. This historical context allows us to understand the immense scale of the Siege of 1686. It wasn't merely about territory or political power. It was a battle over the cultural and religious identity of an entire region. These nuances make the event an incredibly rich foundation for creative reinterpretation. Exploring the creative reinterpretation. Now that we've established the historical context of the Siege of 1686, the question arises: how can such a grand and complex event be transformed into a compelling fictional narrative? The answer lies in creative reinterpretation, which allows us to reimagine historical facts by layering in emotion, personal conflicts, and dramatic twists. Achieving this requires striking a balance between two essential elements: staying true to the historical events and exercising artistic freedom to craft a story that resonates emotionally with the audience. The first step in this transformation is bringing the characters to life. Historical records provide the names of leaders and soldiers, but they often lack details about their emotions, fears, and desires. This is where fiction steps in to fill the gaps. Imagine Abdurrahman Abdi, the Ottoman commander, portrayed not only as a strategist, but also as a man torn between loyalty to the empire and his duty to protect the civilians of Buda. Or Charles of Lorraine, the leader of the Holy League, burdened by the responsibility of representing the hopes of millions while grappling with internal doubts about the morality of his actions. These elements humanize historical figures and make their decisions more impactful for the audience. Another powerful approach is to explore parallel stories. While military leaders make decisions on the battlefield, what's happening within the city's walls? Perhaps a young Ottoman soldier faces his first battle, caught between duty and the fear of death. Or a civilian trapped in Buda struggles to protect her family, while debating whether to risk her life to assist the attackers by sending secret information. These narratives create an emotional connection with the audience, allowing them to experience history from multiple perspectives. The setting also plays a critical role in creative reinterpretation. Buda, with its fortified walls and narrow streets, can become a character in its own right. Descriptions of the explosion's thunderous echoes, the acrid smell of gunpowder, and the chaos of battle can create a sensory experience that immerses the audience in the heart of the siege. At the same time, the landscape can mirror the characters' emotional states, such as the tension of a silent dawn before a major attack or the desolation of a city ravaged after months of conflict. To make the narrative even more engaging, twists and fictional elements can be introduced. What if a spy was embedded among the Holy League's forces, secretly passing information to the Ottomans? Or perhaps an unlikely alliance forms between a Christian soldier and a resident of Buda, changing the course of events in unforeseen ways. These additions keep the audience intrigued while respecting the essence of the historical story. Finally, creative reinterpretation provides an opportunity to explore universal themes that resonate even today. The siege can be a lens through which to examine loyalty during crises, the human cost of war, and the role of sacrifice in achieving great endeavors. These themes not only deepen the narrative, but also create parallels with the modern world, helping the audience connect more profoundly with the story. The key to a successful creative reinterpretation lies in balancing the real with the imagined, the factual with the emotional. By respecting the historical context while allowing imagination to fill in the blanks, the Siege of 1686 can be transformed into a rich, thrilling, and unforgettable experience. The benefits of transforming history into fiction. Transforming historical events into fiction is not just a creative endeavor. It's also a powerful tool for teaching, inspiring, and connecting people with the past on a deeper level. When told in an engaging way, history ceases to be a mere sequence of dates and events. Instead, it becomes a portal to understanding human emotions, universal challenges, and the very essence of who we are as a society. The Siege of 1686, reimagined through fiction, perfectly exemplifies how this approach can revolutionize the way we perceive the past. One of the primary benefits of this transformation is how it makes learning history more accessible. Many people see history as dull, a collection of disconnected facts. But when an event like the Siege of 1686 is retold with rich characters and emotional conflicts, it allows the audience to grasp the motivations, dilemmas, and context of the era in a relatable way. For example, Understanding the cultural and religious tensions between the Ottoman Empire and the Holy League becomes far more compelling when explored through the lived experiences of a soldier or a leader navigating those turbulent times. Fictionalizing history also humanizes its characters. Figures from the past are often depicted as distant and idealized, but fiction brings them closer to us. They become people with flaws, fears, and hopes, just like us. Imagine a commander wrestling with a decision that could cost thousands of lives, or a common soldier sacrificing everything to protect his family. These narratives evoke empathy and forge emotional connections, ensuring that the stories resonate deeply with the audience. Another crucial advantage is the relevance that historical fiction brings to the modern world. Events like the Siege of 1686 carry timeless lessons about courage, perseverance, sacrifice, and the strength found in unity during times of crisis. By adapting these events creatively, we can draw parallels to contemporary challenges, be they social, political, or personal, helping audiences see how the past can illuminate answers for the present. Historical fiction also provides fertile ground for exploring universal themes. Loyalty, power, survival, and sacrifice are ideas that transcend cultures and eras. A retelling of the Siege of 1686 could, for instance, focus on how diverse allies within the Holy League overcame their differences to achieve a shared goal, or how the Ottoman defenders exemplified resilience and dedication to their ideals under dire circumstances. Such themes add depth to the narrative while offering insights into human nature that are as relevant now as they were centuries ago. Finally, transforming history into fiction bridges the gap between generations. For younger audiences who often see history as remote or irrelevant, this approach makes it vibrant and captivating. At the same time, for history enthusiasts, it provides an opportunity to revisit well-known events from fresh perspectives, uncovering new layers of meaning and emotion. At its core, the greatest benefit of reimagining history lies in its power to inspire. History is an endless reservoir of incredible stories, and fiction keeps those stories alive, teaching and touching new audiences across time. By reinventing the Siege of 1686, we don't just preserve its legacy, we also demonstrate how the past can be a vital tool for understanding the present and shaping the future. Modern connections to the Siege of 1686. Although the Siege of 1686 took place centuries ago, its implications and lessons remain strikingly relevant today. History is not merely a record of past events. It is a mirror reflecting timeless themes and challenges that persist in our lives. By drawing connections between the past and the present, we can better understand issues such as unity in the face of adversity, the weight of strategic decisions, and the personal sacrifices that shape collective outcomes. One of the most evident modern parallels lies in the idea of resilience and perseverance. Just as the people of Buddha endured months of relentless siege and hardship, communities today face crises such as natural disasters, conflicts, and economic challenges. These parallels humanize the struggles of the past, showing that while the tools and contexts may change, the essence of human endurance remains the same. The fight for survival, the courage to stand firm, and the hope for a better outcome are universal experiences that resonate across centuries. The concept of collaboration during times of crisis is another enduring lesson from the siege. The Holy League, composed of nations with distinct cultures and interests, came together to form a united front against a common adversary. This historical example highlights the strength of cooperation and mutual support. In our increasingly interconnected world, marked by political tensions and global challenges like climate change, the importance of working together to address shared concerns is more pressing than ever. Just as victory at Buddha required strategic unity, our modern challenges demand collaboration at every level. Individual decision-making also plays a critical role in both historical and contemporary contexts. During the Siege of 1686, leaders on both sides were forced to make difficult decisions with far-reaching consequences, often under immense pressure. This dynamic mirrors the dilemmas faced by modern leaders in politics, business, and other fields. By exploring the choices and sacrifices made during the siege, we are prompted to reflect on the weight of our own decisions and the impact they have on those around us. The siege also raises important questions about identity and belonging, issues that remain deeply relevant today. For the inhabitants of Buda, the conflict was not only a fight for survival, but also a battle to preserve their cultural and religious heritage. In our globalized world, where cultures and ideologies frequently intersect, similar struggles for identity and respect continue to play out. Revisiting these historical narratives can help us understand and navigate modern debates around inclusion, heritage, and coexistence. Finally, the Siege of 1686 offers a sobering reminder of the cost of war and division. While the fall of Buda was celebrated as a strategic victory, it came at a tremendous human price. Thousands of lives were lost, and the city was left in ruins. This contrast between triumph and tragedy serves as a poignant lesson for our time, emphasizing the importance of seeking peaceful resolutions and fostering understanding to avoid the devastating consequences of conflict. By linking the past to the present, we reveal that events like the Siege of 1686 are far from being distant or irrelevant. They are rich with insights that help us understand our shared humanity and guide us toward a more thoughtful future. Historical fiction amplifies this connection, turning the lessons of the past into tools for reflection and inspiration today. Throughout this video, we've explored how the Siege of 1686, one of the most pivotal moments in European history, can be transformed into a rich and engaging narrative through creative reinterpretation. We examined the historical context behind the siege, delve into the potential of reimagining historical events with dramatic twists and human depth, and connected the enduring lessons of the past to modern challenges. Now, as we conclude, it's time to reflect on these insights and invite you to take the next step in this journey. Revisiting historical events with a creative lens is more than just entertainment. It's a way to preserve and honor the legacy of those who lived through them. The Siege of 1686, with its profound themes of sacrifice, unity, and resilience, serves as an ideal example of how history can become a boundless source of inspiration. By blending historical fidelity with imagination, we make learning more accessible, meaningful, and emotionally resonant for audiences of all backgrounds. If you've stayed with me until now, you've seen that history, when reinvented, is more than just dates and battles. It becomes a powerful teacher of empathy, perseverance, and the value of working together to overcome challenges. These lessons are not confined to the past. They are tools that can shape how we approach our lives and the world around us. Imagine applying these insights in your own creative projects or simply using them to view the present with a greater sense of clarity and purpose. Now, I want to hear from you. What stood out most to you in this creative exploration of the Siege of 1686? Are there other historical events you believe deserve to be reimagined as gripping narratives? Share your thoughts in the comments, and let's keep the conversation alive about how history can be a source of creativity, learning, and connection. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and share it with others who share your passion for storytelling and history. Subscribe to the channel to continue exploring the limitless possibilities of historical fiction. After all, history is far more than what's written in textbooks. It's a window into who we are and everything we can become. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Let's keep the past alive by reimagining it for the future.